Hello, these are my observations I did for week 5. Went to 6 stores just around my neighborhood over the past couple of days and got a couple pictures and did my observations. So a few of the things that I noticed. The first place I went to was Chiba Hut. Obviously, well, maybe not obviously, this is a marijuana themed sandwich shop. So they actually have really good sandwiches, but everything revolves around marijuana. The sandwiches are named different marijuana strains. They've got obviously an interesting motif as far as having Kool-Aid here, smoking a bong, stuff like that. But just sitting in there, they really drive this whole theme through the whole thing. I had never been here before, and I had never called for delivery, but while I was ordering, I heard somebody ordering delivery, and it was really interesting to hear them because they answer the phone like they're all stoned. Hey, what's up? Yeah, no doubt. And they talk very San Diego stoner, I guess. Here is just a quick video of kind of the motif. As you can see, when it first started, there was a big blunt there being smoked up in the corner. As you can see, there's pot leaves on the tables, things like that. It seems to attract a lot of tourists, a lot of young college kids, especially tourists that came in while I was there. I noticed that it's right across from the beach, so people are coming off the beach, grabbing a sandwich, and heading back to the water for the 15 or 20 minutes that I was there. The next place I went to was Ray's Rentals. Most of these places I actually needed to shop at. So what I thought about this place was it's all focused around beach rentals. I needed an umbrella, so I decided to hang out. I talked to the worker in there, who was a pretty cool younger dude, telling me about the water conditions, because I was going in the ocean that day and I needed an umbrella, so I was shopping for umbrella too. They had everything that you needed to purchase or rent, but their main revenue stream seemed to be rentals. While I was there, only one that was totally empty for the 10 minutes I was there, and then as I was leaving, 2 girls came back in to return roller skates, and a whole family came in to rent. They're renting bikes, and that was just as I was walking out. I heard them both ask for that. Thought it was an interesting thing because it's right on the beach, and this is obviously a necessary service, but really expensive storefront for something that's rental based. I guess you are continually getting a return on investment because you just need the one piece of equipment, then you rent it for whatever your rates are. Once it's paid off, you're just continuing to make 100% profit. So something interesting that I consider there. I'm probably going to look kind of like an alcoholic because I did a couple of liquor stores, but I thought that moving forward, the rest of them being the same thing would be interesting to follow along with that theme, I guess you could say. So here I went into this liquor store. It's a local one, and obviously focused on local brews, local craft brews. So here is a quick video of the inside here. I noticed that they're really advertising the craft brews. As you can see, all up there on the top is Ballast Point, Latitude 32, a couple of other local breweries. But they had over 175 different beers there, which I thought was interesting once I started chatting with the owner. I did talk to a couple of these people just because I felt weird sitting in their establishments for, 10 minutes just observing. So I would have a conversation with them really quickly and just see what I could notice. I noticed that a lot of people knew this owner. He said hi to a lot of people, recognized them. They had a lot of different specials, but all focused just around mostly craft beer and a little bit of liquor. The next place was a 7-Eleven. While I was in there, I noticed that this one had speakers and music was playing. Again, a place near the beach, so I think that had something to do with it. But I've never been in a 7-Eleven that I can remember, or maybe I've just never really noticed, which was the point of this, was to focus and sit down and see what you could see. I also noticed in here, and I don't have a picture of it, but that they focused on the local beers. Obviously, they're higher sellers. They did have a couple of craft beers, local San Diego ones, but most of their beer was Bud Light, Coors Light, stuff like that. I noticed that over here at this ATM, I thought it was weird to have a mirror facing behind you. You are going right down, against the window right here, and this is a piece of the wall right behind, next to that mirror to the left is a window. And I thought it weird that they put this in here, and I assume that it's so that you can see who's behind you while you're doing your PIN and stuff like that, but it's an in-store ATM, and I've never seen this or never noticed it before, I guess. Having a mirror strategically placed there, and I couldn't think of another reason that it would be right there. Also going back, let's see if I can get this to go back. As you can see, this is an older 7-Eleven. There's not even a 7-Eleven on here. You can recognize this by the colors, and I know what it is, but I don't know why they don't have a 7-Eleven here or the emblem, the logo. They also had tinted windows here, which was interesting because the sun comes right in there as it sets right on the ocean. So this is across from the beach. They also over here had an Amazon box, which I've heard about, but I haven't really seen too often outside like this. Like this one was posted outside of the 7-Eleven, so you don't have to go in. And it's one of those lockers where you can, I guess, get things sent if you don't want it delivered to your home for some reason. So I don't really know the use of that personally, unless I, had neighbors that were stealing, I guess. Next place was Wine Time. I noticed that this place was focused on wine. Obviously, it was a local place in La Jolla, and I saw 2 or 3 different customers come in, and they all seemed to know the owner. They knew what they were going to buy, or they were discussing wine. They had tons and tons of wine. They had Magnum-sized bottles of wine, which I hadn't seen a place where you could actually buy those. What else about this place? I noticed that it was just a lot of boxes, and it didn't seem to be displayed super well, but they're focused on that niche customer of people who know what they want and what it looks like. They didn't have a lot of displays. It almost was like a wine cellar, so you just had to go up and get it out of, this one, in this case, a $139 bottle of wine. They seem to hide behind glass, and I noticed it was like about the $75 price point that it went there. I also observed one guy packing up some really expensive wines. It looked like probably $1,000 worth of wine in a suitcase, rolling it very neatly and tightly, and I thought that was odd that you're going to fly with wine rather than buy it there. So this place must be a specialty wine shop or something, because based on the clientele and the type of wine that they sell and the prices, I figure that's what that's where they make their money. So here's a picture of a big giant bottle. I thought that was interesting. Again, as you can see here, what I was talking about, the display here is just bottles down here on the floor, bottles up here, this big giant Magnum bottle of champagne on top of a box of Grey Goose. It's like not really displayed well, like they took the time to merchandise, but they're clearly making money and staying in business. So this was a liquor store called the Liquor Locker. In here, I only spent about 5 minutes, not quite as long as I had wanted, but I was in a little bit of a rush. Here, the thing that I noticed was just a basic classic liquor store. Nothing really stood out to me other than this display case with Johnnie Walker Blue Label. So this is not $69,000, it's $699.99 for this large bottle of Johnnie Walker Blue Label. Is the most expensive bottle that I've seen in just your corner store, liquor store. I asked him if he had ever sold one. He said he sold 2 or 3 over the 4 or 5 years that he'd been there. So it's bought here and there. La Jolla is a very rich area with property values averaging $1.4 million and up easily. That's not a perfect quote, but definitely, if you've got a 3 or 4 bedroom house, you're paying into the millions for the property. So this might be something that you splurge on, I guess, in that area. I noticed that this one, I only saw 2 or 3 customers come in, but it was just the beach crowd. It wasn't a local crowd who stayed consistent with them and was always there. So, it was a very interesting experience just sitting in all these different these stores, and just kind of noticing the things. The 7-Eleven really stands out to me. The Chiba Hut definitely really stood out to me, just because they really drew that theme all the way through to the workers. And yeah, thanks for watching.